Jesse Lund is the VP of Blockchain and Digital Currencies at IBM, obviously including the IBM World Wire. And we're here to talk all about that. It's a global remittance platform based on the public Stellar network, which has long been one of the world's top cryptocurrencies by market cap. Right now, we're going to talk about IBM specifically and Stellar and the protocol. Can we start by just, Jesse, telling us about the IBM World Wire? Like, what's the problem that you're trying to solve there?
Well, the problem right now with international payments, right, when we're sending money from one person to another person, is crossing a geographic boundary, right, and actually crossing currencies where foreign exchange is involved is a really heavy and cumbersome process that hasn't really been re-engineered or optimized in 50, 60 years or more. And so when you think about the pace of change and the user expectations of the digital natives of today, we expect information to flow instantaneously. There's no technical reasons or technical barriers that should prevent money from flowing the same way.
Okay, and you've built this on the Stellar network. Can you tell us how is the XLM sort of token involved with this?
Yeah, so the architecture of WorldWire is really a cross-border payment network. The magic of which, if you will, the novelty of, is the ability to send payment message instructions saying, hey, I'm sending you something, get ready. And on the other end, the receiver is making sure that who you're sending it to is not, some nefarious actor or bad actor. But once that happens, and that happens really fast, then we send the value along with it. And so that transfer of value is made possible by an ecosystem of digital instruments, settlement instruments, digital assets, of which Lumens is one. So we see Lumens as a viable settlement instrument in this ecosystem of cross-border payments.
So now, just to sort of contrast that, it sounds a little like this is in the same realm as with Ripple to some extent. Can you sort of tell our community sort of how to compare and sort of contrast that as to how that's different and what you guys are sort of doing?
Yeah, so I think credit Ripple for the vision of using a digital asset in order to enact immediate settlement with finality. I think their implementation followed one path. Our implementation is a little bit different. We're not the issuer of an asset. In fact, what we believe is that there should be an ecosystem, a variety of digital assets that provide the settlement instruments that enable these cross-border payments. And the participants on the network should be able to choose and negotiate their choices in real time. And the pricing might be different depending on the settlement instrument you use. Okay. So I think with Ripple, they're looking at XRP as their primary digital asset for settlement. For us, it could be Lumens, it could be Ripple, it could be XRP even, it could be Bitcoin, but it would also probably include other instruments like stable coins and even eventually soon, hopefully, central bank issued digital currencies.
So for one, once again, from Smoke, yep, you read it right, from the BIS. This is why I state that they selected Stellar XLM. Now, of course, they selected some other ones, but again, Stellar XLM, this is major moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. So Hong Kong Center, like you see here, Project Genesis, report to a prototype for green bond tokenization by the Liberty Consortium. Now, getting into the next part about this and why it matters, in the key findings from Smoke, he points out the whole thing of some of the key areas of emphasis.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
So for one, it's the whole idea of what is referred to as the HKEX marketplace, like Hong Kong, right? So it states here that the green bond asset itself is tracked on the Stellar ledger. So final clearing settlement of the asset for executed trades is conducted in the Liberty prototype. This allows the platform to retain instant settlement functionality within Stellar. Yes, you read that right. Stellar. Greatly reducing the cost and risk of trading for end users. Now, I know some of you guys aren't the biggest fans of the whole thing of green and and whatnot. Hey, I'm not trying to make controversy over it. I'm just trying to share with you guys some key findings in regard to the research. Getting further into it, again, from Smoke, what does he have? Well, it's this. It talks about middleware services. Look at this. 2.4 middleware services. This is actually from implementation of this from the BIS. All right, so it's from a BIS pamphlet. So look what it says. Through Project Genesis, the Stellar Network is used as the main source of trust for facilitating transactions and changes in ownership structures. The role of shareable assets blockchain facilitator is simply to facilitate transactions and ownership structures for participants. All right, plug and play. That sounds good, right? Absolutely. And look at what it mentions in regard to wallet creation, recovery, wallet migration, settlement. Those 4 key areas, well, they even have a deal going on with, as we know, Hedera for the DREC Alliance, which is basically headed up by Dr. Lehman Baird. So main source of trust, blockchain facilitator. Again, there's a citation from Liberty, right? That's a big, big deal, to say the least. And of course, like you see here, Stellar Network Interface. Let's actually just highlight this for a moment. You better believe that they, as in Stellar, provide an interface and web APIs to facilitate access, of course, to the Stellar Network. The Horizon API server and many functions in Stellar, that are leveraged by the Liberty prototype are provided in the Stellar blockchain overview. So that's a big deal. And the other thing we're going to get into is this other key finding. And of course, shout out to Mr. Mann. He points out that Hong Kong and the United Kingdom connect through their uses of ICMA's bond data taxonomy, which standardizes how digital bonds are described and processed. Hong Kong issued digital green bonds using this framework, and the UK is now applying the same standards in its digital gilt. I point out the same thing a while back in regards to the Quant Network connection. So if anything, I might expand upon this a little bit more further, but there was definitely something there, and I did a deep dive about that. So this shared approach helps both markets ensure compatibility, settlement, etc., but it lays the groundwork for future cross-border bond trading and interoperability, of course, through SWIFT and ISO 222 integration. All right, here's the highlights that I want to jump into, and this is straight from SWIFT. If you're wondering about it, here it is. Let's jump into that. The key initiative to promote interoperability and facilitate automation of issuance, trading, settlement, and basically of distribution both of traditional debt securities as well as DLT-based securities is ICMA's Bond Data Taxonomy, the BDT. The other part I want to highlight is, in addition, ICMA partnered with SWIFT to integrate the BDT into the ISO 222 messaging standard. ISO 222 is becoming widely adopted by financial institutions across capital markets for trading, settlement, payments, and reporting processes. This initiative was launched in Q1 and is expected to be completed by Q4 of 2025 because, let's face it, when some people see this, right, they're going to say, oh, that says November 2021. This is why I'm highlighting it for you guys, because this comes from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. Believe it or not, a lot of people, this flew under the radar because you look at stuff as this is old research. But is that old research now being pounded home in full glory? Say what you want. There's the receipts. Say what you want. This is why we point out things like Stellar, and say what you also want. Stellar definitely has a seat at the table, because at the end of the day, when you see that Q4 2025, that is right near on the horizon, and that's a big deal moving forward. Your thoughts in regard to the findings, Jesse over at Apex Crypto Consulting NFA. Give him a follow over on YouTube.
Hey guys, hope all is well. Yeah, I shake my head when people like when I prove to people that your unified ledger, shared ledger, regulated liability network, the unified ledger is XRP ledger. Sometimes like I'll get a comment the other day when I showed when you show the documents coming from the Hyperledger Foundation, which is like 7-8-year-old document, laid out the internal value, and where the XRP ledger was the global RTGS, and then you had all the central banks on the side. They were the real-time gross settlement, and then the XRP was a global RTGS system, the internal value, and then Stellar obviously plays a role too. Like some guys will say, those are outdated documents. Like those like as if like that's irrelevant now. Like it's not even gonna happen. Like it's all quant now. Like no, no. I couldn't resist. I said to one guy, I'm like, no, it's your teachings that are outdated. It's your teachings that are outdated. If you think that Ripple and Stellar are basically obsolete now because quant is providing the interoperability for everything, then like you're like you're wrong. You're way off. Okay, it's your teachings that are outdated. These documents going back 3 years, 4 years, 7 years, it's not proof for something being outdated. This is proof for something being planned for so long. Like, can you be so ridiculous? Like, this is proof that it's been planned for a long time. This is not proof that, oh yeah, it's outdated. Come on, like, my goodness. Anyways, end the rant. For now. I'll rant again sometime.
Well, he will rant on the next particular video, because in the next particular video, we'll leave you with this cliffhanger. And that is basically this. It's another key connection, once again, of FedNow and Stellar. So do us a solid. If you listen to the entire outline and simply type this keyword into the comments, and that is cliffhanger, and we'll know that you listened to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and Jesse of Apex Crypto Consulting NFA, know what you have, know why you hold it, the research trumps FUD, 110%. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, guys.